Hello everyone, my name is Kerrie Hanna and I'm a visual artist. For today's Creative Tech Hacks video, we'll be learning how to make an animated GIF. I'm going to be using the program Procreate. It is a paid program, it's £10 to download and I downloaded it from the Apple Store to my iPad. But it is a fabulous program, it's really easy to use and really fun. So if you can, let's get started using Procreate. But if you have access to Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop or Flip a Clip, you can follow along on those softwares as well. The principles are still the same and we'll all end up with an amazing animated GIF at the end. So let's get started by clicking on the Procreate icon. We're going to look at making what I call wiggly text today. That's where you draw lots of different layers on top of each other. We have 4 here, and then we animate them using the GIF function on Procreate. We're going to go out to the gallery and use the plus icon to start a new project. I'm going to go for square. 1080 by 1080 is a good size for GIFs. Then we can go up to the top right hand side to look at the icons for different colours that we want to use for our colour palette and select the script pen to get started. I decided on a light background with blue text and I spent some time playing around with pressing in hard to create the wide sections of the text and lifting the pen up a little to create the thinner sections. What you can see on the screen is whenever I'm drawing, if I don't like a colour that I'm using, I'm doing a tap. One tap with 2 fingers undoes any action on Procreate. I find drawing these in 2s or 3s with some dots around the text is a really effective way of making it seem a little bit more lively and a wee bit more fun. And the great thing about GIFs is that you can save these and you can send these to your friends on social media or upload them as stickers onto Instagram. So there's really a lot of ways that you can have fun with making your own GIFs. I've decided to create my own palette to make sure that I can use the right colours every time that I am making a new layer. And I'm calling this palette GIF Colours so that I know exactly what I'm using. When I press my finger down, it selects each colour and then I can just press the blank squares on the palette and it will drop those colours directly in. I can also touch the squares on other palettes and put them on the blank section like I did with the white to place it into my palette. So for this I'm using 4 colours. Keeping it nice and simple will make it easy whenever I go to make my next few layers. So what I'm doing is I'm creating little highlights on all of the stars and on the text to just bring it to life a little bit and give it a wee bit of shine. And don't worry, we don't have to recreate all these highlights the same for every single frame that we make for our GIF. In fact, them all being in different places is what's going to give it its shimmer. So now I've finished that layer. I've went up to my layers tab and I'm going to turn the opacity down by just clicking in with my fingers, 2 fingers, 1 click and dragging that bar down. So created a new layer. So I went up to the new layers tab, which is beside our color tab at the top, the 2 squares on top of each other. And in there I clicked plus to make this new layer. I've started drawing the same blue color from the first layer on this layer and I'm not doing it exact. So you can see there's little bits which are kind of to the left and to the right of each line. That will be what makes it look wiggly and what makes it look cool. So making sure you go a little bit off, but not completely because it will make it a little bit too jumpy. So I'm just spending some time getting my lines right and remembering that if I need to undo anything, I'm just tapping with my right hand, 2 fingers and 1 tap to undo. Whenever it comes to doing my little shimmery stars, I maybe want to make the stars a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, move them up or down slightly just to achieve the effect that I'm looking for. So with the little shimmery stars, I can move them and they can jump about as much as they like. As they're so small, they'll just create a little bit of a shimmer as they move around. And I've selected my white again to add in the highlight lines on my text. You can also zoom in and out by pinching the screen. When you pinch it together, it zooms out, and whenever you pull your fingers apart, it zooms it in again. So that can be really handy for whenever you're adding extra detail. So you can see that I move my canvas around quite a lot just to get the lines right and to be able to see what I'm doing. Now we just repeat those same steps again, bringing the opacity of that layer down and creating a new one to draw on. Once we finish that layer, we just want to make sure that the layer that we've traced from is back up to 100% opacity before we go in to make our GIF. We go up to our spanner icon and down to animated GIF and click on that, and that will show us what our GIF looks like now. We can toggle the frames per second up and down to make it go faster and slower. So it looks a little bit clunky still, and what I can do to remedy this is drag a layer across to the left and click duplicate and drag layer 2 and 3 down under layer 1. That means that there will be more frames, which makes it a little bit smoother. As the more frames that you have, the smoother the animation feels. So I again am toying up with frames per second, moving it up and down. I've settled on 10. Just click export. This will export it and save your picture. Then if you go into photos, your GIF will be there and you can open it. Well done everyone, thank you so much for taking part. So today we've got a little bit more comfortable with digital illustration and creating an illustration on multiple layers to then combine and create an animated GIF. So I'd love to see some of your creations if you want to send them into Wheelworks. And if you've enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe to the Wheelworks YouTube channel for more content like this.